Just Our Opinion, the podcast where two idiots sit down and talk about their opinions on things you didn't ask for. This idiot's Joanna.
This one is JJ.
And welcome to our podcast. We are going to talk about all things pop culture, a little bit of Drag Race, and whatever really comes out of our mouths, because we don't organize this as well as we should.
We think we do, but then we don't.
But we don't. We have notes, but they don't make any sense. So let's jump right on in. We are going to talk about some headlines.
A couple things came into my feed, and they're technically not like super new stories. I think the story about FBE, that's the Fine Brothers Entertainment YouTube channel, news about the racist, misogynist, sexist, problematic behavior, just the nature of the company. That story broke out like 2018 or so, or even earlier than that.
I think we heard trickles of it, and then it really blew up last year. And then I saw it pop up again in January, but you said it popped up again this last week.
Like I saw on one of the former reactors, he was a Adults React.
Didn't he also used to be like a Teen React?
I can't remember if he was a Teen React. I always remember him as an Adult React, but his name is Jonathan, and he was a Latino, and he's a member of the LGBT community.
Oh, you know what? He was, I think, just an Adult React. I think you're right.
I mean,
there's
we could be wrong.
So much
we could be wrong, but he just recently released a video, or at least I think it just like recently came to my feed of he made a video of like chronicling like what happened to him and why he left, and he cited a lot of issues that paralleled the experiences of another reactor by the name of Kennedy. She is she was featured in the Teens and then eventually Adults React.
Yes.
And she's black, and she during the Black Lives Movement last year kind of called FBE out on some like performative activism and some definite issues with her and their treatment of her, and how she felt that they were treating some of the other POC reactors, them not being compensated for videos, and
specifically the Black Lives Matter video.
Yes,
they were all asked to come make a statement and talk about Black Lives Matter, and then they were initially not going to be paid for it, and then they said, "Oh, okay, we will pay you," after some people went, I think, to like social media and been like, "We're not getting paid for this." They're like, "Oh, no, we will pay you." But I think at the time of the last article I read, which was earlier this year, like some of them still haven't received payment for that video. Yeah.
So, and there have been a lot of, I think, 20 from an article that I read, up towards 26 ex-employees have shared their experiences with not only just racism, but a lot of the female former employees have spoken about just the rampant sexism from the employees and other contractors and higher ups at the company. And I only bring this up because FBE has been dominating the React world
on YouTube.
In fact, they had controversy back in like 2016, I think, where they wanted to
they wanted to copyright the term React.
They wanted to copyright the React genre. And YouTube and the internet was like, fuck you, no.
And then they're
That's dumb.
Okay, we won't do that. Just kidding. But yeah, no, they were definitely trying to do that. I also think it's fascinating just some of the things I read about from people who are former employees and on the production end were coming out and saying that the Fine Brothers themselves were super hands-on with everything down to like even what the thumbnail is going to look like, and would say we want we want a white person and then as some sort of person of color in the thumbnail to show that we're diverse, but always put the person who is white or lighter skinned on the left hand side because the eye reads left to right. so it would be more visually appeasing to audiences to see a white person first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, that's fun and special.
And then as like these kind of stories start kind of coming out, a lot of people have been digging into the past of the Fine brothers, because they didn't start out with just the React channel. They just had like a normal YouTube channel. They did like comedy skits and stuff, and teamed up with now very problematic YouTuber Shane Dawson on a lot of videos, including they collaborated on a lengthy video series with the character Hey Millie, and it's basically a puppet, but the puppet is like, it's supposed to be like a child, and the child is saying incredibly like racially and like sexually explicit things. And there's one video where and Hey Millie is voiced by the Fine brothers. I think they take turns, or one of them does it. One of them is the puppeteer and the other is the voice. And there's one video, I think, that the article mentions that Shane Dawson like puts a gun in the puppet's mouth and says to like have suck my dick with the gun in its mouth. And
oh my!
It's incredibly like, I mean, looking back, you're like, this is really, really problematic and definitely not something that would be at all tolerated today.
No, and what I read was that these Hey Millie videos were playing during an FBE like production like party or something, like Christmas party. They're like, oh, let's put up some of our old videos, and they put all of these problematic videos that not taking into account that they work with women and people of color, and like all of these people were super uncomfortable and they couldn't like just leave because they were like told that they needed to be there for this like event. And also one of the I think it was Benny also did blackface in a video, so that's cute.
Yes. And so it's just even though a lot of these articles and accounts have been started like earlier than this year, but it's only it just shows like it's just a continuing, and they're still like, they still make videos. They've been making videos since even during the quarantine and during COVID. I don't know how successful the channel was. I know I was a former subscriber. I loved the React series.
Yeah.
It was a kind of a staple in my YouTube consumption.
Not anymore.
And to be fair, I can't remember the last time I did see a Fine Bros video.
They pop up on my they were popping on my feed like every once in a while, but it wasn't super consistent. But I also never subscribed because I'm picky about who I subscribe to.
Yeah, I subscribed like very early on when they only had kids react.
Oh, that was a fun series.
And it was really wholesome, because it was always just like these little children reacting to like memes, and it was always really fun.
Or like technology.
Or like music videos or whatever. And so it was really it just all random like bits of pop culture, and it was really cute, and especially like just to see, it was just entertaining, and it didn't seem like sinister in any way. And then they started branching out and becoming really problematic. And
well, I don't even think their videos were ever super problematic. It was
the culture of
behind the scenes. It was
the culture of the company became really problematic. It became less about content and more just like, I don't know, just kind of latent misogyny and just gross.
Let's talk about something else, because this brings down my soul. Let's talk about that show I never watched, The Bachelor, because apparently one of them came out and he's gay now. Or I guess he was always gay, but he did The Bachelor even though he was gay.
That's the controversy. That's the controversy. And well, not just that. But yes, former Bachelor contestant, I think his name is Colton. I don't know his last name. I want to say Colton Ford, but that's not right. I don't know why.
Colton Underwood. I have the article up.
Yeah, and his stint on The Bachelor was unique in that he was the, I think, first and I think only Bachelor to go on the show, and he claimed he was a virgin.
Yes. And he might have been.
I think I believe that he probably was a virgin at the time he was.
Oh yeah, no, he was probably a virgin because he was too afraid to have sex with men.
And too afraid to have sex with women because
he's too afraid to have sex with anybody because he's super religious.
Because he was
and a football player.
He came from he was a pro football player. I don't know what.
Nobody cares.
He was a pro football player, and he came from an incredibly religious, conservative family, and so just that kind of just shoved him in the closet. And so the issue with him, it's not the fact that he is gay, that he has come out. In fact, a lot of the Bachelor Nation, as they're called, they've been very supportive. Even the former contestants on his season have congratulated him for being, for finally, proclaiming
for being brave and coming out
and being and saying who he really is. The problem is that he in sort of a Caitlyn Jenner-esque way is getting a Netflix series chronicling his coming out process. And this is not sitting well with a lot of female viewers because of his problematic behavior with his former Bachelor fiance. He exhibited a lot of very abusive, manipulative behaviors after the show. After they had broken up, because none of those relationships ever really last.
Well, and also the fact that he was gay.
Well, there's that is still yes, he was gay. There is history of a lot of gay men in the closet dating women. I, as a gay man, former gay man, have dated women, have had sex with women. It's just part of the coming out sort of process.
No, absolutely. But I mean, you're not still with the woman because you came out and you realized that you're like, oh no, I'm gay, and he has this realization, oh, I'm gay. That's not if you're not attracted to women, you're not going to be in a long-lasting relationship. Is my point. But you're right. I don't think anybody from The Bachelor met anybody on The Bachelor and are still together.
No,
I don't think. But I've also never really watched this show.
I think it's very rare. I think there are one or two couples. There's a handful of couples that are actually
good for them
as relationships. But the problem is that he exhibited all these really shitty behaviors after he and his ex-fiancée broke up, and she had to put a restraining order on him. He put a tracker in her car. Really problematic behaviors, which I am not saying. I'm not saying that those are. I'm not trying to explain away those things.
Yes.
But I think this situation sort of speaks on the level of kind of latent homophobic and honestly sort of misogynistic values that we place on men in general that really complicate the coming out process, because he, coming from a very conservative background, he was a pro football player. He had to have this very macho, masculine, it's that toxic masculinity trope that and he even explains it himself. He's like, I'm the captain of the football team. I should be, getting laid left and right, but I'm not. And there's something wrong with me because of that. Because he's been ingrained that as a male, I have to have this type of masculinity and therefore display my sexuality in a certain way. And because I am not, there's something wrong with me, and causing this spiral of self-shame and just all sorts of just shame and guilt. And the level of all of that kind of pressure manifests itself in a lot of different ways. I'm not saying that that's the reason why he did the way he behaved the way he behaved, because he was like, I'm so, I have to pretend I'm so straight that this woman that doesn't want me, I have to like
I have to be crazy.
I have to
Assert my dominance.
I have to assert my dominance as a man. I have to show this really toxic masculinity, because this is all I know and all I've been told to do. And then again, I'm not explaining the behaviors are shitty, but it just speaks to the level of like toxic masculinity that men are constantly kind of bombarded with. And as gay men, it can cause really awful. It can cause really awful feelings, and might be his way of trying to latch onto this last glimmer of a heterosexual life that he believed at the time was what he needed and what he wanted and what he should aspire to.
One, that's bullshit, because there's plenty of homosexual men who are in the closet who did not abuse women. I do agree that the pressures that society put on men to be this manly man is too much, and we need to calm that down, because it's bullshit also. Like, toxic masculinity is real, and you see it every day when you see people being assholes. However, I don't think that should be the reasoning that we put down for why this man is the only reason this man is being like an asshole. No, he probably is also just an asshole that is heightened because of toxic masculinity. Because you were a closeted gay man who dated women and had relationship with women, and to my knowledge, you have never stalked a woman or tried to put a tracker in their car or was a general douchebag to women. Correct?
Not that I can recall.
Wonderful. So, you are proof right here that people can overcome the pressures of society. Do some people crack under that pressure a bit? Yeah, but you also can't crack to the point to where you're abusive. Because that's then just hiding behind the shield of saying, I had to be this way because I was a football player. No, you didn't have to be this way because you're a football player. That's saying that, what's his face? The guy who, the swimmer who got off on raping a unconscious woman behind a dumpster at a college. I had to because I couldn't control myself because I'm a man and this is what people tell me men should be. No, you're an asshole who raped a woman. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's only so far that you can say that. Do we as a society need to change our thought process to be more inclusive and to allow men to feel their feminine side or not feel pressured to be this macho blah, blah, blah man? Yes. Do we need to say this is the reason why they're assholes? No, because it's not good enough anymore.
No, and I would say that Colton definitely cracked. This is an example of how not to behave as a male, regardless of your sexuality. I'm just saying you have to also acknowledge that, and you have and you did say that it's this level of like toxic masculinity is prevalent in all aspects, and it doesn't. I'm not saying it explains away his behavior is shitty, and it does make him a shitty human being. There's a little bit of it's a very complicated process when you come in terms with your sexuality, and when you are trying to discover who you are, and a lot of people do make mistakes. Clearly, these were behaviors that nobody should ever exhibit and should ever really. I'm not trying to excuse those behaviors. Those behaviors are bad, but I think what I think should happen is that him getting that Netflix show is just really bad timing. It's very similar to the Caitlyn Jenner getting her coming out kind of story, and people were up against that because of privilege, And just she wasn't, she tried to be the voice of a community that were like, you don't get to speak to all of us because you haven't learned all of our experiences yet. And there was a lot of issues with her. I think that he should take the time to really make sure that he deals with the issues that he's dealt with. From my knowledge, he has reconciled with his ex. She has dropped all charges against him. They've I think amicably. I think I can't remember if she has responded to his coming out, but him being in the public eye, he probably shouldn't have ever gone to The Bachelor in the first place. I think that probably nobody should ever go to The Bachelor in the first place.
I mean,
I don't think that that's going to foster any normal relationship if history is any indication, there's only a few Bachelor people that have successful relationships.
Well, that's because they have to keep it a secret for months after filming, because they can't spoil it for all of the people watching. So they have to hide their relationship and not spend time with each other, and that puts a strain on your relationship, and then you break up by the time the show airs.
Well, that and it's a reality show. The producers have their hand on there's multiple stories of how producers can manipulate certain situations so that certain Bachelor.
You mean every reality?
Yeah,
TV show?
Every reality TV show. So it's why if you're a closeted person would you put yourself in that kind of strain?
I mean, same thing as a hetero person, but I digress. Let's talk about something else. I don't like The Bachelor. Let's wrap up our news with some more sadness. Helen McCrory passed away this week, so that's fun and sad. She played Narcissa Malfoy, and my heart was sad. She was only 52. She had cancer. Yeah,
I've been getting a lot of... I've been hearing a lot of, there was another former Harry Potter actor who had recently passed within the last couple months. I can't remember his name.
I can't, it's sad because I can't keep it all straight because we have lost so many in recent times. I think it was, it was the actor, I think, who played Cornelius Fudge, the Minister for Magic.
Yeah, and the tea is that we're getting to the point where all these actors...
My childhood is dying.
Yes. And that's sad.
And, sadly, Helen McCroy was battling cancer secretly, like Alan Rickman was, and had passed away at 52. It was heartbreaking. I saw both Instagram posts from Tom Felton, who played Draco Malfoy, and Jason Isaacson, who played Lucius Malfoy. Yeah. Both beautiful tributes to about Helen. Jason Isaacson said that he was super nervous to be playing alongside her because he admired her so much as an actress and was like, I'm doing work with her? What? And said that working with her was just a dream come true for him, and he was delighted and just so happy to be able to work with her. And our hearts and thoughts go with the family, because it's just sad. And like I said, our childhood is slowly passing, and that makes me cry inside. And then I found out breaking news today as of recording, Jim Steinman passed away, who basically wrote every song that you love from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, from Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart, wrote everything that Meatloaf ever did.
Yes, he wrote and produced the Bat Out of Hell and the Bat Out of Hell 2 Back to Hell albums for Meatloaf. He wrote Meatloaf's most famous song, I Would Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. He wrote It's All Coming Back to Me Now for Celine Dion. So all of these wonderful songs and music he has either produced or written, and it is a great loss for the music community. We do not have a cause of death as of right now, but he was also 72, so he was not young anymore. Mm-hmm. But sadness and sorrow, and let's talk about Drag Race and be happy.
Our next segment is our Drag Race 20, where Joanna and I will talk about all things Drag Race related. It'll be a little bit of this season, a little bit of a different season. It'll be whatever comes to our minds, and we will talk. We will talk about it for exactly 20 minutes. We have a timer set because if we do not, this podcast would be 18 hours long.
And we will go off the rails and...
it'll go off the rails, but it'll go off the rails within 20 minutes.
It'll go off the rails for a really long time, and we want our producer to stay with us for always, so we have to limit ourselves to 20 minutes. All right, 3, 2, 1, go!
So the last episode that we got
was the reunion clip show. Snooze fest, but...
Suits boring, y'all.
In case anybody cares, Joey Jay is gay. And
he's gay as fuck.
And Joey Jay proved how gay Joey Jay is by doing because all the queens got to do a music video, and he did the gayest one of all, because he dressed up as every member of NSYNC at a club, and did... I don't even remember which NSYNC song it was. It doesn't matter. It was so good.
Was it Bye Bye Bye?
No, it wasn't even that one. It wasn't even that iconic. I'm Googling it right now, but it was... Because it was a song, and it wasn't even, like, the best NSYNC song. But
he definitely, like, he put on the goofy goggles that what's his name? Kirkpatrick?
Chris Kirkpatrick goes, I want you back. I want you back.
That's what it was, yeah.
Because it has a good beat, and he had the red hair for Joey Fatone.
Definitely frosted them tips like Lance Bass.
Looked like a generic white dude for JC Chasez, because that's what you get for JC Chasez. And as Justin Timberlake, he had on everything, was like, oh no, that's definitely something Justin Timberlake would wear, but it also looked like a grandmother. With, the really curly, tight curls, and it was so absurd that I wept. It was beautiful.
It was like a perm, but, if he had...
Like a woman's perm.
Yeah, it wasn't like the ramen noodle hair that I remember.
Oh, yeah, no. It was definitely, a white boy fro.
Which is hysterical, because it's like...
Which was everything
You're like, what? This is ridiculous.
It was everything I didn't know I needed. And then at the end of the video, Lance Bass was there. And then he calls Joey Jay a filler queen, because Joey Jay, upon entering the workroom, said, filler queen. And it was great. And that was probably the most noteworthy thing to talk about at the reunion.
I mean, yeah, all this... I'm trying to think of what the other queens did. I think Utica's music video, was to an original song, I believe.
No, it was not. It was to a... I don't remember. It was not an original song.
Are you sure?
I am positive, because I just re-listened to it, and I can't remember who it was now.
But the music video was very, very unique because it was her, kind of tangled up in all these, strings, and throughout the song, she would, snip strings away, and it was this really cool, shadowy, it was, all kind of backlit, and she was, in shadows.
It was the Halsey song.
Oh, that's why I was like, oh.
And that's why I couldn't remember it. I don't listen to Halsey.
I was like, it must be original, because I don't recognize it.
We did get some cool, though, original songs, Tamisha Iman was iconic with her song, and then, incorporating all the ball culture. Her song, Arrogant, which was fierce.
I mean, she knows how to talk about branding. The moment that Untucked episode aired, she had pins, doormats, high top sneakers ready for sale with all sorts of you're arrogant on it, or this is what I said, or the lady said go home.
The lady said go home. It was, oh god, it was so good.
And just the whole the whole track was just all of her iconic little sayings that she said throughout the season, and set to this a house beat with all the ballroom culture dancers, duck walking and death dropping around her. That was really fun.
It was fierce. Oh, and then I will say Olivia Lux's music video was so 90s.
Oh my god, the Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Not only is that a fantastic song, she did I'm Going Down. but it was like filmed in like it was like a super like 90s R&B. She was like, she had like the window blinds shadows on her face as she's just like, you know, on a chaise lounge, just like feeling her oats, just like, yes, I'm.
And she reminded us all that she plays the piano.
Because she played the piano for the intro of it, which I'm like, with them nails, that's brave.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, she obviously was like, she was lip syncing that piano, but I believe that.
No, she was playing. I can see that she was playing. She was actually playing those notes.
But I don't think that they didn't record those notes there. She probably played them and then was playing them again with the nails.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To play the piano with them nails on is brave.
No, I agree it's brave, but if it didn't press hard enough or whatever, like, I'm sure she played it without the, like, ridiculously long nails to be able to play and record it, because when she was playing it there, it probably did not sound that good. No,
and her technique was awful, and I mean, she knows.
Oh, she's aware, but she was reminding us all that she plays the piano, and we're like, yeah, girl, you play the piano, thanks for telling us. Mm-hmm. Look good, because that song doesn't even have a piano solo in it, but she put it in there.
But she put it in there anyhow.
Because Olivia Lux lives. I don't know. I don't care. That was about it. I don't care about the rest of this episode. It was dumb.
I'm trying to think, excuse me. I'm trying to think, they didn't do anything really, they did like the 69 questions with the queens.
Oh, those were boring. I didn't care. They weren't charming. None of them were that interesting.
I'm trying. There was a couple where I was like, "Oh, that shady bitch," but I can't recall.
They played Toot and Boot with the outfits. Mm-hmm. What outfit? Oh, it was Candy's alien outfit for the Beast Couture look, and Tamisha show it to Tamisha, and she goes, "Look over there." I died. I was like, that shady whore.
She did. But yeah, like this episode, like it was just super boring.
It was.
Like we thought, like, oh, Joey J's like little music video, like, oh, that was kind of fun.
Maybe the rest of them will be fun.
And then the rest were not.
They weren't. They were like, some of them were intriguing, but it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted a Zoom call, and I wanted those bitches to yell at each other.
And we didn't get that. We got barely a Zoom call, and they were
forced to be polite.
They're like asking, like fan questions, I think.
Oh yeah, they answered some fan questions, and they were dumb questions.
And it was super, super produced. They're like, "Hey, Utica, I have a question for you." And you're like, "Oh, sweet Jesus."
Gross. No,
we just want to know if Utica and Denali banged yet.
And we still don't know. So, and it wasn't Utica and Denali, it was Utica and Olivia.
What am I thinking? Oh, it was Rose and
Denali. And they didn't bang because Rose's got a boyfriend.
But still.
No, she's made it abundantly clear, I think,
but
that they
still.
didn't. I mean, you live out that fantasy in your brain, girl.
I will, thank you.
Let's talk about the fact that Drag Race Down Under appears the week after the finale, which is going to be the finale's this coming up week, and I'm so excited. And then we get a whole new season of Drag Race on WoW Presents Plus on May 1st, and I can't wait.
Like, so far this year, we have not gone a week
without a Drag
Race. Even
though we have gone a week where we had like quarantine episodes, but it was still Drag Race on my TV.
It was like there was a Drag Race episode that had aired.
It was Drag Race on my TV. I can't wait. I'm calling it now. Art Simone's gonna win Drag Race Down Under.
You think?
I think. Did you see that bitch's face? She is painted, and she already has her own show on WoW Presents Plus.
So you're like,
It was like when the Vivienne won season 1 of Drag Race UK. We all knew she was going to win because she was a drag ambassador for RuPaul's Drag Race.
And you're like,
there was no way she wasn't not going to win, even though Davina De Campo should have.
Yes. And in my head, I live in an alternate universe where Davina De Campo is UK season 1's winner.
Yes.
Because the whistle tones and like...
she's so talented.
She's so freaking talented. I mean...
And she's so pretty.
Yeah, and like she brought the fashion too. You remember?
And she brought the fashion because those
like when she
bags,
made that that blue bag, the IKEA bag look. Absolutely
with
iconic.
the giant umbrella. Oh.
Absolutely iconic.
Oh.
And then like I actually really liked her finale dress. It was like the Union Jack.
Oh, the Union Jack dress. Oh.
It was so good, but they like kind of read her for it. I'm like, why? This is beautiful.
Right? Like, no, it was great. She looked fabulous. They just were trying to give us an excuse to believe that the Vivian really won, even though nobody liked her. And this is true because when I was listening to Race Chasers talk about it, Willem and Alaska were in the UK for the finale at a bar, and when they were announcing all of the girls, all of like everybody they're like bag of chips, and everybody was like, woo, the Vivian, yeah, Davina De Campo,
going crazy.
Yeah, because everybody wanted Davina De Campo to win.
She is the winner in my.
She's the winner in my heart. A red wig and a silver dress. I don't think.
Love
her. I love her. I love her.
But I mean, yeah. I mean, from what we've only been given the entrance looks from the Aussie queens, which Raja and Gigi Good tooted and booted, and that was I love that episode of.
So great.
It was so good.
I didn't realize how much I loved Gigi Good until that exact moment.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I want you here always.
Like Raven can go globetrotting with Rue all she wants. Let's keep Gigi Good on here.
Right? And honestly, even though I just talked a whole bunch of shit about her, I really enjoyed the Vivian on Fashion Photo Review for the UK.
For the UK ones? Oh, yeah.
UK season 2.
Because she's shady as fuck.
Because she's shady as fuck, and it was great. And
there was a couple episodes where like her eye makeup was like, remember that like pink
rainbow?
Yellow? Yeah. That
rainbow?
was gorgeous.
Oh, it was great. Don't worry, we'll recreate it. I'm gonna put it on your face. I want to so bad.
Yeah. But like we didn't get at this point we haven't gotten a whole lot of like the Aussie queens. We've only got their weird
they're fake Meet the Queens that was like them like answering really weird
questions.
A dumb
question like
no, I don't. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for
like
that.
Why can't we have just like an actual Meet the Queens? I'm trying to think. Did we get any from either the UK or the?
For UK season 2, we did. We got to Meet the Queens. Yeah, because I remember their looks were great and like Taze looked fantastic.
I'm trying to remember.
She was like in like this all white with her
oh yeah.
Yeah. Her Naomi wig.
Mm-hmm.
That went like all the way down to like her ankles. Like, oh, she looked good.
No,
and Cherry Valentine also looked amazing because that's when we were like, oh, this bitch might win, and then she went home in the second episode. We're like,
fuck.
Oh, well, never mind. And
Joe Black, yeah.
Oh, Joe Black looked so good too.
It was like it wasn't like the it was like the green like Glenn Close hooded. Like turban look? Was that her?
No, because they were all in monochromatic looks.
That's what I'm saying. Was that green?
No, because Veronica Green was in green. Joe Black was in all black. And I want to say it had like puff sleeves, but like, and then that went like tight with like the long nails, and she was in a blonde wig.
I can't remember. It's been so goddamn long.
I know it was like.
I do remember, is it Sister with the blue dot on her mouth?
Yeah, and we all went, huh?
We were like, okay. And didn't she have like a blue dot dress? Or did somebody like, well, I mean, Ahura kind of like stole it.
Oh, later and did it.
In the season,
did it better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All I know is that I think Art Simon's going to win. And I just love
Karen from Finance.
I love her name.
I just love that name.
I loved her look because it was very Karen from Finance. Like you look at it and you go, it's that's on brand.
Yeah, that's a woman from HR.
Yep, absolutely. I think she did. She was saying in her little interview, which was the only thing I remember, was that she doesn't have any drag drag daughters, but people keep telling her to like have like a drag family and have like Helen from HR and
oh my god,
and have all of these people from like different departments.
That's
and I'm like,
hysterical.
I want that so bad, and have everybody in just these cute little office looks, and then like duck walk. I'm here for it. I want it.
Gay yo-yos. Gay yo-yos. Fling those gay yo-yos.
I want it. I want her to do well, and also because
I think she'll do well. She's giving me which queen is it? Is giving me very like Sherry Pie vibes, and I think it is Karen from Finance.
Oh, I'm also obsessed with Jojo Zaho.
Which one's that?
She is she has dark skin, she's one of the bigger queens, and she has like 1,000,000 teeth in her smile. And she's so pretty.
What was her like look?
I want to say she was in like this really pretty purple look.
I don't know. Let's look this up, motherfucker.
And business that we're wasting time, but
yeah, because Artemone had like that paint splatter look that was really fierce. Anita Wiglet had the Oh
no, Jojo Zaho is not who I was thinking of. I just like her name because she was in the plastic dress. Who am I thinking of then?
Kidamine.
Oh, Kidamine looked great. But not who I'm thinking of.
It's the bigger girl, right?
The bigger girl.
With
she has like 1,000,000 teeth in her mouth, and she has this really beautiful smile.
I don't know. Why is that not coming up? Wow.
Coco Jumbo.
Oh.
Hold on. I have it. I'm on the Drag Race Wiki page.
This is the same goddamn article.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, she is really pretty.
She's really pretty. And if we're going to go, if we're going to get another big girl win, I'm 100% here for this. She's so pretty. And
she's very pretty.
And so pageant without being, over the top pageant, but you can tell that bitch, can turn a pageant.
Yeah. There's another one. Is it... I just clicked back.
Okay.
It's Maxie Shield. She's the other big girl in purple.
That's right. She also looks great though. She looks like fun. She gives me very much like Joe Black meets Nina West vibes.
Yeah, it was giving me very Nina West vibes. That's the girl with the giant titty bib.
Yes, with the giant titties. And then, who was the problematic one who we found out was, done, a bunch of things in, blackface and stuff? Because that's not cute.
Oh, Drag Race Down Under...
Scarlett Adams.
Oh, yeah. And her look was what? She just had, the red pencil skirt?
Yeah, she had the red pencil skirt look with,
very
the bra underneath.
It's very pearl in the face.
Yes, it is very pearl in the face.
Pearl will definitely do a slick... It looks like a slick back, like platinum blonde or white.
Yeah, updo, kind of look.
Like a slicked back, really short number.
But, yeah, so she's, problematic-ish.
What's the name of the bitch that she wore, the pink foam hair in the...
That's Kidamine.
Is that Kidamine?
Yeah.
Kidamine's giving me very...
Because she's one of the New Zealand queens.
She's giving me very... oh, God. What's her face from season 11? No, yeah, season 12. Why can't I think of her name? Crystal Method.
Oh, yes.
Giving me very Crystal Method vibes.
That is big Crystal Method vibes. Oh,
very
I love
big,
Crystal Method.
Very big Crystal Method.
Oh, did you see Crystal Method's Instagram post where she was, running around like Dora the Explorer on a playground?
Yes! I did!
I was my first thought was, this is everything I need and more. And my next immediate thought was, I wonder what every single parent thought was going to happen to their child at that point.
They're like, get this grown-ass man dressed as a cartoon, like children's cartoon character on a playground. Get him away.
I'm 100% not okay with this. But I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I'm thinking I'm liking what I'm getting from Maxie Shield and Kid Amin. Very Big Girl Magic from Maxie Shield. It's giving me almost like a Darien Lake.
I do see some Darien Lake in there too.
Like a Darien Lake vibes, which I love me a Darien Lake.
Coco Jumbo reminds me of Asia O'Hara in the face.
Asia O'Hara is very pretty.
And I get some Asia O'Hara face with
Oh, now I realize what etc. looks like to me. Etc. in the face is
Davina DeCampo.
Davina DeCampo, if Davina DeCampo and Sugar Cane.
And that's all we're gonna say about that.
Boom.
And now we're gonna take a quick break.
Ba-dum-bum.
And we're back again.
Hello.
I do want to say that whenever I'm bored, I just put All Stars 2 on in the background because if I don't need to pay attention to anything, because it's comforting like a blanket.
I do listen to Read You Wrote You on a regular basis.
As you should.
It's on my playlist that I put on in the car.
All right, so let's recap some Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh my god.
Woo woo, this episode, y'all.
Oh my god. 10 minutes, I think I was 9 minutes in and I'm crying. Because everything that happens in this episode just is so, just pushing that narrative of the plight of the black man. And
for sure.
Between
Isaiah, what's his face? I forget his name. Isaiah Bradley. His whole, his storyline with being experimented on despite being basically a Captain America figure. Sam really transforming into this Captain America figure, despite the fact that Isaiah Bradley is America's not gonna want a black.
Yeah. So the thing that made me lose it just at the beginning was after they have their badass fight sequence, which was amazing.
Super good.
Bucky throws the shield down at Sam and is like, "This is yours," and leaves. And then Sam finally picks it up and he's puts it on. And then as he's looking at it, and the first thing he does is try to erase the blood that's staining the shield, because it's just for me, it was just this big metaphor for the blood of people of color that's staining America right now, and he's just trying to erase it, and I'm just oh, I can't handle it. And then the episode officially starts, because all of that happens before the title sequence even drops, and I'm what are you doing to me, Marvel? And then when we get to Isaiah Bradley, Sam goes and visits him, and they sit down and they talk, and Isaiah Bradley explains what really happened to him and why he was jailed, which was he went to go free the other super soldiers that were like him, that were experimented on, these other black men that were
I believe there were many attempts to save them, and all those attempts failed, and he was this was either last resort, and was you can try.
No, they weren't going to. They were prisoners of war, and they were gonna leave them there and blow up the camp to kill off any evidence of their experimentations.
That's what it was.
And Isaiah Bradley said no, and went and rescued them. And when he came after he rescued them, and all of his soldier buddies ended up dying off because they didn't adapt to the super soldier serum like he did. They threw him in jail for 30 years because he went against orders.
Yeah.
And was court-martialed, and then they did more experiments on him while he was in jail. And even though Steve Rogers did the exact same thing, they were going to leave behind a bunch of soldiers, and he said nope, and he went in and mounted a rescue, and he was hailed a hero. But Isaiah Bradley was thrown in jail for 30 years and experimented on and lost the love of his life because he was kept in jail so long, and finally, out of the goodness of the heart of a nurse, wrote off and signed off and said he died and let him go. And he has to live anonymously in his life because he can't go out into the world because he'll instantly be killed for being a super soldier and, you know, an enemy of the state.
That's why he's like
and as a
recluse.
And so that's why he lives alone and like just has his grandson there who and does what he can. And Sam's like, but we can tell the world what you did, and we can put this narrative out there because times have changed and it'll be fine. And Isaiah Bradley says, they will kill me instantly, and America doesn't want a black Captain America, and no self-respecting black man would ever want to be one. And I was just like, damn.
That shit deep, yo.
Damn. And this actor, like, I applaud him. He is so talented. And like
both of the scenes that the scenes that he's had in this series have been both like really well acted, well put together. Like it really like fucks with your heart.
Give him an Emmy. Just give him all of the awards. He's so good. And then keep him around longer. Like I want more of this storytelling. And I think it's fascinating. And
is he an established character in the comics?
He had a comic run. I've learned all of this because I looked it up. He had a comic run in the like mid 2000s, like 2010ish, I want to say, where they released a comic series that was about the Black Captain America, and it was about how Isaiah Bradley and all of these other black men were basically experimented on to recreate a Steve Rogers kind of thing, but they weren't valued. I don't think in the comic book run was he thrown in jail, but he was swept under the rug and like was like this like hidden secret of America that they weren't going to herald or celebrate.
Okay. Because I was wondering if he like ends up playing like a man in the seat kind of role eventually.
No, I think though his grandson is supposed to become, I think, the U.S. Patriot. He eventually gets like superpowers and takes on the mantle and works with, I think, the Young Avengers that they've been teasing. So that's exciting, and I think that this episode was really good, and I'm so glad that Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we talk about Elaine?
Because she's so funny. She was in the show for like 5 minutes, and I want her always. I'm so excited she's here. Her character's so good, and from what I understand, this character was supposed to be teased in Black Widow first. At least that's the rumor I'm hearing. And so she still might show up in Black Widow. I don't know, but here she is, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, from what I was able to gather from like the casual research, that character is like has like ties with Hydra, and like she at one point was like the head of Hydra or something like that, but like as an infiltration, she was like as a double agent or something. Yes,
and also her character has been leaked for many years as being Nick Fury's girlfriend. And so they've been linked together a bunch. So that's also a thing. And then also, I think at one point her character was a Skrull, which like kicks off Secret Invasion. So who knows what we're gonna do? But I'm excited.
Yeah, I know that there was a lot of hype around her character getting introduced and the implications in the MCU about like what she can set off and what she can what shenanigans can begin with her. But she clearly like is some sort of like part of some secret government agency that starts. She like basically recruits John Walker to become something.
Later to be determined, but he makes his own shield in the basement.
He does.
Which I'm like, that's just gonna break.
Yeah,
that's not vibranium though.
I mean, and did you see like he used his U.S. metals to actually like melt them into the shield?
Okay, so I want to talk about this. I think that did he deserve to be reprimanded and punished for murdering that man in the streets of Sokovia?
Yes,
absolutely. Did he deserve to be stripped of all of his titles and his retirement and everything else humanly possible because he murdered that one man in the streets of Sokovia?
I don't think he was stripped of all things humanly possible. He was stripped of pension. He was stripped of awards. He was stripped of, basically,
and he was dishonorably discharged.
But that's not all things in life.
All things in life in regards to his military career. They took
him, yes. Yeah. Like for all intents and purposes, they took away his life and the life that he knew.
I was gonna say, what was left for them to take?
His life, actual life.
His actual life.
Yes.
But I mean, they took away so everything humanly possible without killing him. They took everything away, and like I said, I think that he should have seen the inside of a jail cell. I think that he should have been stripped away with, he should have been, had the Captain America title taken away from him, absolutely. It's just like, as they keep listing the things, you're kind of like, well, what specifically? Seems like a little much.
I don't remember exactly what was stripped of him. I know that it was his title as Captain America, which, yeah, he should be stripped of that. I do believe that he should have seen some jail time. I believe that he should have been dishonorably discharged.
Yes.
I don't know if they retroactively took away his awards.
I feel like they did, because it was just one of those things that was so intensely oh man, you can't, really? It just, even for me at that moment, to where I'm not one of those people who's ever sympathetic to somebody who murdered somebody, especially if people could say, oh, he had his reasons, he was justified. It's no, he wasn't. He just straight up killed this guy who had nothing to do with this. But I think that it just felt like it was one of those moments that was wow, this is a little extreme.
And it felt way too.
It felt like it was just, let's just keep going. Instead of just saying, we're taking away the Captain America title from you, we're going to dishonorably discharge you because we can't have you in the military anymore, and then here's your prison sentence. But, to take away everything from, his family, in that sense also, because,
Did they take stuff away from his family?
They took away his pension, so even if he were to die, he doesn't get any money, his family doesn't get anything for his time served in the military that was, quote-unquote honorable, even though he even said, though, he's we did some shady shit in the military before, but the military was all for it then. So, I don't know, it's just one of those things to think about, and makes me curious. I don't think that he's justified in anything that he's done, but, I see, I can see that being, and this is the point where I crack. But I do appreciate the line of where he says, where he tries to speak up for himself. I don't think he should have gotten, a whole bunch of stuff back or anything, but he was you made me. You made me what I am today. I was just following orders. And yes, he kind of went off the track a little bit, because he was oh no, we're going to go do it this way. We're going to go, off book a little bit. But in the past, when he's gone off book, even Lamar said, yeah, well, we've gone off book before.
He even said, you make Lamar says you make good decisions in the heat of battle or something like that, or in the heat of the moment you tend to make the right decision.
Yeah.
Clearly this was not the choice to take the superhero serum and kill a man in public.
No,
not a good idea.
No, but he was going to kill that man regardless of I think the superhero serum. I think that he had that kind of rage buried down in there, but yeah, I don't know. Wyatt Russell's amazing. He's doing a great job.
Because we learn we hate him. We kind of sympathize with him a little bit now, because we're oh, that's a little too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, he's so good, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of him. I think he's gonna be around for a while. I don't think he's dying in this series. I think he's gonna be around for a while. I don't know. This show's so good. I can't believe that it ends next week.
Yeah, it was so. It's such a short.
Episodes.
Yeah.
It's only 6 episodes. It's going to be probably another hour-long episode. I'm ready for it. I'm probably going to cry.
Hopefully we see something. Hopefully we see what the Wakandans give Sam.
I'm assuming that's going to be the top of the next episode, is we're going to see him in his new suit, and I can't wait.
Hopefully we see...
And we'll figure out what the fuck Sharon Carter's doing, because what the fuck is this bitch doing?
Yeah, we find out that she, the original mission that Sam was on, she funded the guy that hired that guy, and she's doing some shady shit. We already got that inkling that she was kind of in the underground crime ring, but not to a we didn't really know what to expect.
Maybe we'll find out who the power broker is.
Maybe it's her. I don't think so,
I don't think it is.
But who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? Maybe it's the Mandarin. Because we got a Shang-Chi trailer. And we'll talk about that in a minute, because first I need to talk about the musicals. Oh, I'm so excited. I watched it, JJ didn't.
No, I had to teach that day.
You had life and things and stuff. It's still on the YouTube for
how long? I
think the day it drops this episode releases is going to be the last day you can watch it according to the website. But it was through the magic of green screen. We got to see a delightfully campy show where it was the same basic script of a young ingenue who can't pay her rent, and the landlord is this bad evil guy who's swooping in to enact his revenge, however that means, and her love interest William shows up and saves the day. And it's done in the style of all of these different types of musicals. So the first one was done in the style of Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it was called Corn with an exclamation point. And Richard Kind was the villain, and he was so stupid, and I loved every minute of it. And at one point, because he was green screened in with the other actors, he picks up the girl to kidnap June, and you can tell it glitches out, so somebody else is picking her up, and he's shimmering because it's a green screen, and it was ridiculous. It was perfect. It was everything I wanted for that to be. And then you had, I think it was called Complex, in the style of Stephen Sondheim, where everybody dies at the end. And Andre DeShields, who just won the Tony Award for Hadestown, was in it, and he was the villain.
The peoples,
and he was great. And it was my favorite because it was they pulled from different types of pieces from that composer. So you had bits of Company, and you had bits of Sweeney Todd, and a little bit of In the Woods. The complex they were at was called The Woods.
Oh my gosh.
It was so stupid. It was great. And each episode, each segment was narrated by a different famous person. So Patti LuPone narrated one. I think Betty Buckley narrated one. It was great. Oh, and Telly Leung was in that one, and Patti LuPone narrated the complex one. And then they did Dear Abby in the style of Jerry Herman, and who did Hello Dolly. And it was just basically, going, the gays are really excited because this diva's coming out to sing, and whoever's playing Dolly would come out, and for this one it was Abby would come out and she would sing, and everybody would go, woo! And it would cut to the audience going crazy, and it was great. It was so dumb. They had one for Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it was called Aspects of Junita. And at one point they say, the audience applauds the set change. And I died because it was so funny. And then later they go, and the audience applauds the set change out of habit. And Leslie Margarita was in it, and she's comedy gold. I love her. She's brilliant. And then we had Speakeasy in the style of Candor and Ev. And instead of the love interest being super in love with the June character, it was Randy Rainbow, and he was went to prison and became gay because that's what happens in Cabaret, and he ends up saving the day by running off with the landlord. He goes, because the landlord's I'll fall in love with somebody and then we'll forgo your rent or whatever. And so Randy Rainbow's how about me? And they yeah, okay. So he goes, okay, June, I'll pay your rent.
Oh my gosh.
It's so stupid.
So ridiculous.
And they had wonderful segments about the York Theater in between each segment, and it closed out with Hillary Rodham Clinton. Because you need to have Hillary Clinton in your production at some point because she's the best. It was funny. It was great. Watch it. I laughed. I enjoyed.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just a theater kid's wet dream.
It was absolutely a theater kid's wet dream. If you enjoy theater and have seen or heard anything from any of the composers, you will find at least that segment entertaining.
No.
So wonderful. So happy. I want more musicals.
Nah.
So JJ, did you watch The Mandalorian this week?
I did. I saw episode 5.
I'm so proud of you.
I did it. And Baby Yoda's now Grogu. He gets a name. He has a name. Because he Jedi mind read, what's her name? Ahsoka? She Jedi mind read him. And he's oh, his name's Grogu, dum-dum.
I also want to tell you how difficult it's been for me to continue calling him Baby Yoda because I've been calling him Grogu in my head. And I'm like, oh.
Finally!
I have to say Baby Yoda. I still have to say Baby Yoda. Nope, we're not there yet. Okay, Baby Yoda. But he's Grogu, he has a name.
And we get Rosario Dawson as Kick-Ass, what's her name?
Ahsoka.
Who wields 2 lightsabers and is a badass.
She is absolutely a badass.
Badass Jedi lady.
And she's getting her own TV show.
Good, because she needs to. I don't know if it was something wrong with my TV, but this was literally the darkest episode. I could see nothing other than lightsabers flying around.
Yeah, no, it was very much that one episode of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, where just like you couldn't see shit.
Yeah, it was very that. No, it was kind of a darker episode as far as like visually.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mando brings Grogu to Ahsoka, who's a Jedi, and I was like, oh, he brought him to a Jedi. End of series, we're done. He did it, yay! But nope, it's not that easy because she tries to like test his like powers, and she says like, oh, has a lot of fear, and fear corrupts the Jedi because she's seen it before, and I'm like, in Anakin,
because Anakin trained Ahsoka.
Exactly. So, so I was like, I got some of the Star Wars lore. I did it.
I'm pretty sure I just told you this last week.
No, maybe I could have forgotten. In typical Mandalorian episode, he goes there and like, oh, she'll do the thing, but he has to help. I guess like dethrone this like evil magistrate lady who's imprisoning a bunch of like local villagers that she's like, I need to save them and kill her because she's a bitch.
I mean, as you do.
But she has like a spear that's like made out of the same material that Mando's like armor is made of.
Uh-huh.
And so I guess Mando like kind of fake makes a deal with her. He's like, yeah, if you go and kill the Jedi girl, then Ahsoka, and I'll give you this spear. And he's like, tell me where she is. Like, doesn't really agree to it, but it's just like, okay, whatever, bitch. And but yeah, then comes back and like fucks her up, and he ends up getting the shield at the end, or the spear at the end. Oh, she said the thing. She said, "May the Force be with you." And I was like, "Ah." And then now they have to go to, he's taking Mando, no, not Grogu's taking Mando. That's wrong. Mando's taking Grogu to find yet another Jedi that might possibly, or he's taking him to like a temple to like touch a stone that might like reactivate his like Jedi powers, and like maybe another Jedi will sense that he is awoken and then like become his mentor.
I'm remembering this episode as you're like the end of this episode. I'm remembering the next episode, and the rest of the series is just fire. Like, it's so good. Whee! You're in for some fun.
Woot. But yeah, that's where we're at now. We're trying to find this temple for Grogu to like manifest his true Jedi-ness.
Yes.
And there was like a cute scene where he's like he was like, take the stone, and he force takes the stone. He's like, oh, yay, go Baby Yoda. And I was like, oh, I'm proud of Papa Mando.
Yes. Well, because he had the little ball that he had, the little metal ball.
Yeah.
It was the little ball from his gear shift in his
Yeah,
thing.
I forget what that's from.
Yeah, it was from the gear shift on his ship. And Grogu would, like, in the first season, kept, like, unscrewing it and holding onto it. And so at the end of the first season, when he's like, this is my kid, he, like, unscrews the thing and hands the little thing to him so he can play with it.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so that was, like, their thing. So was, like, there's, like, the little connection, and it's adorbs.
It's really adorable. I mean, just, like, any interaction with the Mandalorian and Grogu, it's just like, oh, it's really sweet.
No, it's so sweet and so cute, and I'll hold on to that for a while.
Yay! Don't tell me things.
I tell you nothing, but yeah, just hold on to that for a while, and the warm fuzzies, it's great. So let's talk about what's coming up, because so I didn't put it down. So we didn't get a trailer per se, but we did get a logo drop for the Flash movie starring Ezra Miller. So that popped up. It's literally just like the image and then like the music, which is really just sounds like the music from the CW show, and the logo kind of looks like the logo from the CW show, but it's gonna be Ezra Miller Flash, but sure.
Okay.
That comes out in like 2022, so that was all they've released so far. So I saw it though, and I was like, we'll talk about it for a second. So that's all the time we have for DC. Let's talk about Marvel, baby.
Because Shang-Chi trailer just dropped.
Shang-Chi. Okay, so the trailer looks amazing. It's so pretty. The action is phenomenal. Aquafina is delightful and adorable.
Absolutely.
And
I was like,
I want to be her friend.
I want to be her friend too.
I want to be friends with Aquafina. Somebody make it happen.
Hit me up, girl.
We find out, like, even through the trailer, it sounds like, that the Mandarin, who is in charge of the 10 Rings group, is also the father of Shang-Chi. Which is like, huh.
Yeah, okay.
That's a thing I didn't know. I don't know anything really about Shang-Chi, so I know who the Mandarin is, but that's about it.
Yeah, which I think this is really exciting because it's really like new lore to kind of like get into.
It's new content that most people don't know about.
Yeah, like I'm not super familiar with Shang-Chi, although seeing the episode makes me realize like I really do love like kung fu, like choreographed like combat movies. Like
it's so pretty.
Like I remember like first watching Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was like, this is the most beautiful piece of cinema on the face of this planet.
Oh yeah, we were young when that came out.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was like in middle school maybe.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters and being just completely blown away. Seeing it in theaters with subtitles.
Because that's how you do it, people.
Because that's how you do it. And just mind blown. It was so wonderful. And I'm really sad that like more of that style didn't take off immediately afterwards. I think a couple tried, but nobody put the money in to make it look as good.
There was a good like time where like Jet Li put out a lot of like kung fu, like very traditional kung fu movies.
But nothing to the magnitude that was Crouching Tiger.
Hero was pretty well critically acclaimed.
Yeah, but did that come before or after Crouching Tiger?
After.
I stand corrected. But there still wasn't. I'm surprised it wasn't a huge movement though. Like. Nowadays, if something goes like really big, like everybody immediately tries to copy.
Right.
And it did. Like I just didn't blow up the way that I was hopeful.
I mean, they did make like a like straight to Netflix like sequel. That was like a little disappointing.
Oh.
If you're into like martial arts kung fu movies, there's plenty of movies. To
no, I am aware there's plenty of content, but we're getting it in Marvel now. So excited.
And it looks really cool. Like the combat and the choreography for all the fight scenes is like, it's like at 11 the whole time.
Oh, it's on point. And they had released over the summer, the stunt coordinators, like and all of like the stunt people that were working on this movie. Like 2 of the stuntmen, I think, release like an entire fight scene of just them like doing things like on set. Wow. And it was incredible just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
Such excited. And the movie drops what, September?
September 4th, because I think it was the day before my birthday.
Oh, so something like that. Yeah. So we're getting a Black Widow movie in July,
and then we get Shang-Chi
in September,
and then Eternals the day before your birthday in November. And then Spider-Man in December.
It's like Quanta? No. What's the...
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home, because they had to have home in the title. Quantumania is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And Multiverse of Madness is Doctor Strange, which is March, I believe.
Not until next year, yeah.
But apparently...
That I'm actually really excited for, because I think...
I'm so excited.
I think Doctor Strange might be my favorite, like...
It's because you want to bang him.
No, not really that. No. I don't want to bang him, necessarily.
You don't want to bang Benedict Cumberbatch? What's wrong with you?
No, I don't. Fight me.
Fine, I'll just keep him for myself.
Yeah, keep him to yourself. I don't need that.
He's beautiful, man. He's so awkward and uncomfortable, and I love it. I'm here for that.
Go for it. I'll take Mark Ruffalo's CGI Hulk.
And you know what? You can have Professor Hulk. I will let you have that because I know that did strange things to you when that movie came out.
I'm like, oh, am I attracted to this, large green man?
You learn a lot about yourself watching Marvel movies sometimes. I'm just gonna say it.
Do I have daddy issues? Yeah, I do have daddy issues.
T. But we have a Shang-Chi trailer. We have all the Marvel things coming up. And I'm excited.
Well, thank you for listening to the Nobody Asked Our Opinion podcast. You can send us an email with any and all of your opinions at nobodyaskedouropinion@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram at nobodyaskedouropinion. You can listen to us on YouTube if you don't like using podcast apps at Nobody Asked Our Opinion podcast. You can follow Joanna at
Joey Snow 2006.
And you can follow me at pianoman_05. Please follow our unpaid intern Natalia at The Third Rule Creative and our producer Jonathan at Jelly Sound. Please rate and review. Tell your friends. Let's get more listeners up in here so we can do more fun content. Okay, bye.
Bye.